Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael, and I will be presenting DCS4S.
Okay.
My name is Michael.
I'm Joseph.
I'm Erica.
Mathura.
I'm Alex.
Alright, so let's get started. So our after-school program focuses on helping students that deal with anxiety. So I'm going to first discuss what is the rise in anxiety. So 1/4 of teens will struggle with anxiety disorder at some point in their lives. So this shows how much it affects teens of today. And according to mental health data researchers, high school and college students have reported more mental illness symptoms from 1938 to 2007. And the research looked over 60,000 students. They're seeing more descriptions of feeling isolation, sensitivity, being misunderstood, narcissistic, worry, sadness, low self-control, and general dissatisfaction.
So what is anxiety disorder? Anxiety disorders are a group of mental disorders characterized by significant feelings of anxiety and fear. Anxiety is a worry about future events and fear to current events. These feelings may cause physical symptoms such as a faster heart rate and shakiness. There are a number of anxiety disorders, including generalized anxiety disorder and eating disorders. These problems usually show up in early childhood and during adolescence and are more prevalent in young boys. There is no current data that reveals the number of children who are antisocial, but previous research places the number between 4 and 6 million and is currently growing. These conduct problems usually show up in early childhood and during adolescence and are more prevalent in young boys again.
So today, anxiety disorder, as long as with antisocial disorder, is affecting, and there's a rise in it within teens. So in order for these future leaders of our society to be able to prepare and build connections with other individuals, we're making this after-school program so it can help these individuals.
So what is this for? Who is it for? This after-school program is a free program run by students for students. It was made to encourage antisocial and anxious teens in high school between the ages 14 to 16 to interact with their community and branch out of their shells. This program may involve helping students who are nervous when presenting in group settings or have generalized anxiety. The life of a new student can be nerve-wracking and intimidating, especially for those who are uncomfortable with talking or interacting in large groups. So personally, I have a story relating to generalized anxiety. One of my closest friends, unfortunately, cannot deal with larger groups or presentations, so they are physically unable to get in front of large crowds. And trying to help them throughout these years kind of made me feel more strongly about this kind of situation, because I want to try and help out more and more people this way.
Okay, so what is the actual program? DCS4S stands for Durham Catholic Students for Students. It would be a nonprofit organization that helps students and deal with their generalized anxiety and potentially just going out and trying to do presentations. I know that personally I look at my English class and I can see a lot of people stress out right before presentations. So we'd like to have this kind of after-school program specialized for grade 9s to 10s because we want to get right to the root of the problem right when they come in from elementary. So the times would be right after school. My school ends at 2:10, so 2:05 to 2:10, so we'd like it at 10:15, let the students go to their lockers first and then come down. And then roughly around to 4:30 or as long as they can stay. It's optional to come, but hopefully they'll come because we have occasional free food. So the dates would be preferably 2 to 3 times a week, but that depends on the schools. For us, we'd have Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays at Notre Dame, my school that I go to. But this obviously can be changed based on classrooms and availability of students and volunteer workers. So who can attend? Obviously it's 14 to 16-year-olds between grades 9 and 10, and who's running it? As I said, it's students for students. Why would you think students would want to come? Well, we have that the amount of hours that you actually work, you would get credit for, so it can go towards your 40 hours of minimal volunteer hours. We have it so that you have to apply to the program because we don't just want any random students signing up for it. We want actual students who care about our program and who maybe face anxiety themselves. Because why would you want to come if you're not actually caring about the problem? Of course, anyone can attend, but we'd just like it to be select at first and kind of branch out into different schoolings. So where at start we'd like to try for ND, so Notre Dame, and then maybe potentially go out for all of Durham, and then maybe all of Ontario. Okay, so we have on Mondays, it would be from 2:15 to 4:30. First starts would be just trying to de-stress the students after a stressful day at school, then maybe art activities on Mondays, and helping students with projects and presentations at the end of the class. Then on Wednesdays, it would be more of drama and improv, different activities to get students talking with one another, and then potentially branching out to doing things that students ask for or what they'd like to do. Next slide. And on Fridays, we'd have games and interactive activities. And on special days, we'd like to have it so that we can have guests and hosts come in that would like to talk about maybe anxiety or mental health.
Now, to help connect the students among the other schools, we have an app which would allow them to, for example, look through different schools that offer this program. For example, we thought possibly the 3 schools here, Dock, Dwyer, and Notre Dame could be representatives. And for example, if someone was to look at the Dock section, it would show possible meeting times for that week and the school's address. Furthermore, the app could have ads to produce some revenue that we could put back into the event, allowing for guest speakers and any possible excursions.
So the end goal exactly for this project, it would start in our local schools, so we're part of Notre Dame, Dock, and Dwyer, and then we start branching off into making conventions involving these, and then maybe with the app we could go global, helping students and individuals all across the world.
Good guys, go. Judges, questions?
I think it's a wonderful program. I think it sounds really interesting. You're talking about advertising for revenue. I think early on, you'll find that it's very easy to get speakers to come on a volunteer basis, or also wellness professionals to come and help, because you have a compelling need, and then you're also learning while you're doing it so that you can continue to translate. I guess my first question would be, is how are you going to scale this? You've got the app, which is great. Is it starting off with a sort of like a training weekend for the people in each school? Is that how it starts out and then you build from it?
So we want to implement it in our own schools, so starting on next Tuesday, we're going to go and talk to our principals at our school so we could actually get the approval to run this program, and then we'll start putting out announcements for possible applications within our school communities, and then we'll go through that process, and potentially after we accumulate all the volunteers, we'll start running the program around winter break, after.
Yeah, and seeing as it's a low profit, just because it would be in our school, and the only thing we really need is a volunteer teacher, because every 30 students you need at least 1 teacher, so we'd have to have at least 1 volunteer their time. But otherwise it would be at the school, just in a classroom that isn't occupied at the moment.
So I've done some work with Ontario Shore Centre for Mental Health Sciences. One of the fastest growing groups that they deal with are youth. So we're talking 10 to 18 years old. So I would love to connect you with someone down there that can help you with training and facilitating, and they would love this kind of outreach program. I think it's a phenomenal idea. I mean, I know when I was growing up, there was no, listen man, we didn't wear sunscreen, we didn't wear seatbelts, we didn't, everyone smoked, we had stress. You guys are gonna live forever, so because you're all helping each other, and just all this stuff, so it's cigarette, it's amazing. So I want to help you make that connection. So let's talk afterwards, okay? So I think they're gonna love this.
So this is very personal to me. This is something that I actually currently take medication for myself, so I can relate. The problem is they give you Ativan, and the Ativan, as a matter of fact, I just picked up my prescription this afternoon. So now that's on the record and on video. That's awesome. I'm not embarrassed about it. So first of all, I want to commend you. I would give you a caution though on it's an awesome idea, but the not-for-profit model is a really, really tough model. And I also think that you're gonna need more than just a volunteer teacher. You're gonna need someone that would be able to deal with if the situation arises right there on the spot. And usually you have to be certified and trained to be able to deal with something like that. So other than that, I also would have maybe like to see a little bit more of, you're going to hear a lot of scaling, because scaling is about how can you make this be big enough so that it's viable product and everybody, because the cost is great, but how can you make a little bit of money? And then the other thing I would love to see maybe more is a little bit more detailed into the curriculum itself. I know you had a few things, and you had some drama, you had some release exercises, but if you bring yourself a professional on board that deals with this with adults, and also applying it to youth, I think you can do something. But this is really personal to me, and I just wanted to share that with you. So thank you, guys.